Beautiful. Let's hear it for the pastor. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Hi. So this is Jaime. All right, this is Jaime Gutierrez. He's a civil rights attorney. He has to introduce himself, but I'm going to just shout it out. Jaime has been consistently kind of standing with the people in the streets. Jaime has consistently been out here on message saying this is fascism and we cannot stay quiet.
Yeah, we got to fight it. So everybody, just to let you know, as you well know, I'm an attorney. And so here's my promise to you. If you get busted on this picket line or any picket line, I will represent you pro bono. That means gratis, free 99. Yeah, so, but that's my division of labor. I'm an attorney, I can help you that way. And my hope is that you can all extend your, whatever your specialty is or thing that you do in your way to help the cause. Thank you, everybody.
So just to bring everybody up to date. Oh, I guess the feedback. Okay, just to bring everybody up to date. So my name is Amina. I'm taking responsibility here in this city to bring people together on a mission and with determination, because we are in very intense times. All right, look around you. It's been 5-6 months, and this has been a nightmare for a vast majority of humanity.
Well, thank you, man.
It's day after day, night after night, and the horror show that is coming from the government up top.
God bless you now.
That's snatching people up.
Yeah.
That's taking away LGBT rights.
Yeah.
That's incarcerating people for no other reason than standing up for their First Amendment rights. That's putting federal charges on people who stand in the way of these ICE terrorists that are snatching up our immigrant brothers and sisters here in this city. And right now, we have a military occupation here in this city that has led thousands of troops here to intimidate people, to have people not come out into the streets, to instill terror. And our demand today is that there not be a military occupation in this city. And that has stakes, that has consequences. Because if Trump is able to get away with suppressing dissent, with terrorizing people in a sanctuary city, in a Democratic Party-led city, then we've lost the entire country. And that's why we've been out here. And that's why we've been standing with people. We've been standing with the people who've been taking the freeway here in this city. We've been standing with the people who have stood up in the face of this terror, who have come out here, put their bodies on the line. We are standing with everybody right now who is standing up for justice and who is refusing to stay silent. When everybody's being told, don't get so alarmed. Just wait it out. Somehow this Epstein file is going to catch Trump red-handed. Somehow the Democratic Party is going to save us if we just wait it out for 2026.
No waiting!
2026 is a year and more away. It is way too late, and we will not compromise. We will not be complicit. We will not stay silent. And we will get into these streets, and we will demand, and we will be together with courage and determination to say Trump must go now. Say that with me. Trump must go now.
Trump must go now!
And as Oliver Bowie, who I know had to run out to another event, he put forward a slogan, in the name of humanity. In the name of humanity, we refuse to accept
To accept
a fascist America.
a fascist America!
today. The little children in Gaza, there are bodies that are literally falling over because they have no food. People are dying of starvation in today's day and age. We are standing with them. We are standing with all the people who right now have no other choice but to cross the Darien Gap to get to this country, because this country has destroyed their very livelihood of living, of existing. We are out here today to demand that shut down ICE. That has to be a very real demand if we're going to be able to move forward right now. Instead of dozens of people showing up when ICE shows up at the Home Depots, at the homes, in different places, there have to be thousands. Thousands of people who are putting their bodies on the line. And I don't know if we brought whistles today, but I saw some noisemakers in the crowd. We do have whistles. There you go. That has to be the rallying call for people. When you hear those whistles, you know that ICE is nearby. And you know that right now you have to put out your protection for one another. And we got to call everybody out to get out in these streets. So when we say the demand shut down ICE, it's not just a good slogan. It is a determination that if we're going to actually be able to put a stop to this Trump regime, it is on us. It is on us to get out there and to sound the alarm and to call it for what it is. It is fascism. Yeah. And it is not going to stop until we stop it. And that's the demand, and that's the call that is being put forward. So I know that we are waiting for one speaker to come up here, but I'm not sure she's here yet. But I want to give a minute to let people know that you could sign up. There is a table that's buried within it. You could sign up there. You could grab some posters. But as I'm filling in space, not to kill time, but just to bring everybody in and to let people know what we're going to be doing here today. We're out here at Placita Olvera. It's still time for people to come out here. Everybody who's hearing us, we put enough sound system. Oh, I see our speaker. Okay, so we're gonna be starting here, and then we're gonna make our way to the detention center. Where right now it has been a site on where people are being locked up, are being brought in and out. Federal agents are bringing people in and out of that detention center. So we're going to stop there. We're going to do a ceremony, and we're going to bring forward some of the disappeared faces. And then we're going to make our way over the First Street Bridge, and we're going to make our way into Boyle Heights. And we're going to make our way into a community that is silenced, that is being suppressed, that is being quieted. And we're going to make some noise. And we're going to invite people to come out and to join us out in these streets. And then we're going to end up at Hollenbeck Park, which is a beautiful park, and there's a lot of restaurants, or there's a handful of restaurants that have donated some food for people to be able to hear some closing remarks and to be able to grab a bite. And then I know it's a distance from here to there, so we're going to make sure that whoever needs to come back to Placita Olvera, we're going to make sure that everybody gets shuttled back. So who I want to bring up next, Yeah, go ahead. Okay. So this is Michelle. She's with the RevCom Corps, and she's going to be also helping us out today on this soundtrack. So give it up for Michelle.
Okay, so I want to introduce Flor Martinez, who I've stood side by side with very recently when a grouping of farm workers were sick and tired of the conditions in which people had to be working in, and on top of that, being terrorized by ICE in the fields. They decided to put out a call for a strike. And I've worked with Flor. We stood with the farm workers right here in this Placita Olvera when they announced to society and called forward other people to stand with them while they went on strike. Flor has been an advocate for, people in the fields. She is on social media at Flower in Spanish. She is, here with us today, and, and she is a really great person that I, have been working with, and I appreciate, and we invited her here today, and so she was able to make it. So let's give it up for Flor Martinez.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here on this Saturday. So I wrote a few words. Thank you, Michelle. So my name is Flor, and I stand here with a message that cannot be softened. We're living in a moment where the threat of fascism is not just knocking at the door, it's already made itself comfortable in our laws, our streets, our detention centers. Donald Trump's regime, and yes, I will call it what it is, we all will, a fascist regime, is a direct assault on everything this country claims to stand for. Under Trump, the undocumented community has been targeted, dehumanized, hunted. Families have been ripped apart, children locked in cages, and raids carried out like acts of war. The goal is not just control, it's erasure. This movement doesn't see us as workers, as neighbors, as people. It sees us as threats. But we are not threats. Fascism is. When Trump vows mass deportations, he is building a police state. Not for safety, but for power. When he talks about ending birthright citizenship, he is echoing white nationalist ideology. When he criminalizes survival, he is telling millions of undocumented people who feed this country, that their lives do not matter. But we are not going anywhere. We will not be pushed into the shadows. We will not be silent as the dictator rises. This country was built by us. It runs because of undocumented labor. If they come for one of us, they come for all of us. We will organize, we will fight back, and we will demand dignity, protection, and a path to citizenship, not just for our families, but for our future, because we will not just resist fascism, we will bury it. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. All right, everybody. I see all these beautiful, righteous people out here. Say hi. Let's hear it for Flor.
Woo!
My wife and I follow her. She's been a big influence. She's using her platform and her words and her perception of this world for good. And she reaches hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions. And I want to thank her for that. Thank you, Flor. And I think it was really righteous of you all to call a strike for the farm workers. I mean, think about it. They're going out into the fields and taking the people that are feeding us. What kind of logic and reason is that? That type of stuff, and Professor Morrison will back me up on this one. It's done by narcissistic sociopaths. They have no concept of reality or perception of the world. They just do. And Trump is trying to hide what happened on Epstein Island. They were buddies. We all see the pictures. They're trying to tell us what we're seeing is not really what's happening. And we're not, I don't see sheep out here. I see righteous, rebel people. Like critical patriotism. That's the best kind of people. So I want to introduce Reverend Wolf, who's the pastor at this church right here. They have a who's the pastor at this church right here. They have social causes, and I want to thank him for that. Here you go.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you all for being here. It's important for us to be able to stand up and say no to what's happening all around us, what this regime and not just in Washington but across this country is doing to our neighbors, to the people we love and care for, the members of our family. I'm here today as a member of the religious community. I'm a Christian pastor. But one thing I can say to you is I'm not a Christian nationalist.
Yeah!
And whenever you hear Christian nationalism, that's one of the biggest abominations we've ever seen in this country and perhaps in the entire world. We have to say no to Christian nationalism. Because people have a right to live, they have a right to struggle for their lives, they have a right to gather together in community, they have a right to protest. And when Donald Trump and his ilk come around and tell us that they don't want to educate our children, When they tell us that they don't want to have people who understand what's going on in the world because it endangers them. When they tell us that we don't have a right to gather and that they can use whatever force they need if they feel threatened somehow just because we're exercising our right to stand up for what is proper and good and righteous and just in our world. When they take away our neighbors and hide them away in detention centers and don't even tell us where they are, when they take away our neighbors, even if they do tell us where they're taking them. These are all times when we're seeing the great abomination of this age take place right here in our United States. And so the time has come when we have to say no. We have to say no. You know, the teacher I follow says, love your neighbor as yourself. Well, sometimes loving people means saying no to those people. We're not going to put up with what it is that you're doing because you're not only hurting the people we love, you're hurting yourselves. We will not stand for a fascist America. We cannot have a fascist America. And so we have to say no. We have to say no. I have a woman that I talk to on a regular basis. She's confined to a bed. And she says to me, what are we going to do? And she tends to get despairing. And I say, what we're going to do is we're going to get out in the streets and we're going to fight. Because that's what we need to do. We need to get out of the streets. We need to fight. We need to say no. We need to say no fascist America. It doesn't matter whether it's Donald Trump or whether it's some Steve Miller or Tom Homan. It doesn't matter if it's any of these people. We have to say no to all of them because we have to say no to what is righteous. We have to say no to what is good. We have to say no. We have to say yes to what is righteous. We have to say yes to what is good. We have to say yes to that which brings us life and gives us life and gives life to our community, makes us a healthy community once again. So thank you for being here. Thank you for putting your feet on the asphalt. Thank you for walking to say no to this fascist regime and to say yes to humanity. Thank you.
So all of you watching, this is a Refuse Fascism protest. Make sure you go to refusefascism.org. Right here, refusefascism.org.
It's a beautiful
and be
church,
part of an
and they do a lot of
action
righteous
Monday,
work.
July
Like I said,
28th
they have a
across the
museum of
country.
social causes
We're going to blow
below.
the whistle.
We have
No
a
lunch,
beautiful exhibit
business
about
as
all
usual,
the
blow the
movements
whistle
that
on
happened here
ice.
in LA.
This is a
Hey,
national call to
Chapolin's here.
act.
Now it's a party. Now it's a party.
So we're the RevComs. We are at this
But
Refuse
yeah,
Fascism
all this
protest
Epstein stuff that's
to
coming
bring
out.
you
And, was it
this
Trump's personal attorney
beautiful
meeting with,
show of unity of people from different
the co-conspirator
perspectives.
of Epstein in jail.
Religious
Don't be
figures,
surprised if he
lawyers,
pardons her.
local activists,
You know, they're trying to
immigrants'
disappear all
rights
that mess.
activists, all coming
But
together.
that just shows you where this government is. It has been compromised and by pedophiles, by these crazy pedophile narcissists that have taken over this country. It's a coup d'etat from within. And we have to resist it because the world they want to turn everything into a toll booth. They want to privatize education, privatize the post office, all these things. They've taken away Medicaid. 50,000 people are going to die a year as a result of their cancellation of Medicaid. Unacceptable. Those are our taxes, ladies and gentlemen. I'd rather see them go to heal people than kill babies in Gaza. Because that's where our money's going.
That's right.
3.5 billion a year is given to Israel. And that's without, these last 2 years, it goes into the hundreds. It would take 2 billion to resolve the houseless issue in this country. But yet we're sending money over there. And the caveat is they have to buy American bombs. The only people making money out of that genocide and all these wars is the military-industrial complex. Right. And that's who Trump supports. That's Trump's real base. Not us, not the workers, not the people of this country. So that's why we have to fight him.
All right, so I think part of the process right now, right, is I think we have to come to grips with not only how fast things are moving, but if Trump is able to consolidate power, and by that you're talking about the elimination of like all democratic rights, which is what's being put up to grabs. It is kind of slashing of, I think Flor spoke to birthright citizenship. That's not a law, that's an amendment of the Constitution, of the US Constitution. We fought very hard, right? And we haven't won this battle to actually insist on our First Amendment right to take the streets. What did the city say? Oh, we don't have enough funding. But it's unconstitutional, actually. But that tells you a lot as to how much is being weighed, as to whether there will really be an outpouring of people, because there is a lot of anger right now. You see it every day, you hear it on this stage. There is a lot of anger as to what this government is getting away with and what they are forcing and shoving down people's throats. But that is being contained and not allowed to actually break free and to actually break out and pour out into the streets, because that is what it's gonna take. It's gonna take tens of millions of people not complying, uncompromisingly putting some skin in the game and saying we refuse to accept a fascist America and you are illegitimate. Yeah. And I just think the lesson of Nazi Germany, the lesson all of us have to take to heart when we compare what is happening to our immigrant brothers and sisters, it is not hype, it is reality. The snatching up, the demonizing, the shoving them, the torture, the illegitimacy of what's happening in these concentration camps is real and it is inhumane. And that tells you that these people cannot be compromised with, but they actually need to be driven from power. When they got all the social services that people have been accustomed to for decades in this country, from Medi-Cal to social services to food stamps to having the ability to see a doctor just for basic care, for when vaccines are being overturned, this tells you that their might and their power is completely illegitimate, because the humanity of people here in this country means nothing to them. When they got all environmental regulations where you can no longer detect when a natural disaster is coming, like in Texas, and instead of bringing services to people in Texas and mobilizing all the National Guard to get out there and to protect people's livelihood and sanctity, but instead what they do is they figure out how to redistrict that entire area so that it actually leans towards the fascists. This tells you that the humanity of people counts for nothing at all. And let's get it straight, this is a genocidal program. That is what they are doing in Gaza, but that is what they have. Trump put out a full-page ad in the New York Times before he was even in politics, going out to the Central Park 5, which is a grouping of youth, of black youth, who had done absolutely nothing wrong, and he said execute them. He said give them the death penalty.
Sorry.
He is not stopping, and there is no constraints on him from all the levels and halls of power. If anything, this is the danger of what's being unveiled with the Epstein file, is that you have a situation where the volatility of those in power, instead of actually just letting them clash amongst themselves, they have to meet the force of people out here in these streets. And actually our demand, the demand that can speak in the interest and in the name of humanity is Trump must go now.
Trump must go now.
And that has to be the demand that rings across this society, which is why all these posters that we have here today, people got to leave here today with these signs to put out everywhere, because the whole society has to be confronted with the fact that what we're up against is a fascist regime, and there's no waiting it out, and we got to put some skin in the game and shut down this fascist Trump regime.
Sit down.
So I want to bring up Richard Rose to speak. And when he asks, what do you want me to speak on? Because I can speak on why I'm mad as hell right now happening and why we will not stay quiet. So give it up for Richard Rose. He'll introduce himself, he'll say something about himself, and then we will get started to march very soon.
Thank you, Amina. Trump must go now. Trump must go now. Trump must go now. In the name of humanity, I am a concerned citizen of the world. I refuse to accept a fascist America. Now, when I was growing up, there was no doubt about being concerned about one's neighbor. It is only natural to care about those people who you share living space with. In Christianity, there is a famous question that causes everyone to think deeply. The question is, who is my neighbor? And the answer is, a good neighbor is one who cares about those who are in need. And what is taking place today in our neighborhoods and communities is unsettling. It has become difficult for me to sleep, and my thoughts are dominated by this subject. How can we allow the government to steal our families from their homes? How can we allow parents to be taken from their children because they were not born here?
Yes.
What does all this mean in terms of what we call a just society? And I was born and raised in Sacramento, California. I was educated in Orange County, my undergraduate degree. I went to the East Coast and became a clergy person. Came back out to California and in the IE in Claremont received my PhD in philosophy. My research has to do with what it means to be a global citizen, a member of the Christian faith, but yet connected to all of humanity. And I was fired from my job for 34 years for trying to build the beloved community. You see, American values are misguided. America is perverted. In American culture, we're taught a perverted form of individualism. We've been taught to be selfish. Dog eat dog is the way they do it. Trump and Elon Musk, which one has the biggest ego? My philosophical mentor, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., said, "I fear I'm integrating my people into a burning house." Trumpism must go now. Bob Marley said it like this: we're gonna we're gonna chase these crazy bald heads out of town. That's what we're gonna do. Now, there's a why. Trump must go now. Besides the fact that he's unfit for office, there are policies that are a threat to democracy. Kamala Harris tried to warn us of that, yet we voted for the jerk anyway. How soon we forget. The U.S. government under Trump has, in opposition to international law, legalized kidnapping. The General Assembly of the United Nations has made it clear that the way these people are being labeled immigrants, who may be out of compliance with some United States statute, they do not deserve to be treated unfairly. The United Nations has been clear on this. Article 2 says everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms outlined in this declaration without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national origin, property, birth, or other status. What America is doing with ICE is state-run terrorism and must be ended immediately.
Yes!
The Trump administration should be removed from office and tried for crimes against humanity, against international law. So we must come together and change the narrative. There's a term from the African tradition called Ubuntu. It means I am because we are. By telling our story, we can change the narrative. Who are you? What have you done? What do you want to see this America become? Let's change the narrative, and in so doing, make this place the way we want it to be. So with that, Trump must go now.
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 Woo!
Let's hear it.
All right, people come and join.
Let's hear it for the Reverend.
Yeah!
Richard Rowe, the legend. Test, yeah. So, have you guys noticed there's been this, sign from the Great Spirit and our ancestors that we're doing the right thing. And it just keeps hovering over us. So I'm taking that as a beautiful sign.
Yes.
All right. Oh, here's a model. Okay, so there's a vendor, right? Because we got to be hydrated. That's saying if you want a drink, they will give you a discount for $5. So the vendor is back there in the orange tent. If anybody wants.
Yes.
I just figured that was really nice. Okay, so 2 things. We're gonna get ready to march. You guys ready?
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of orientation so we're all together and we're all on the same page. So I had mentioned earlier, we applied for a permit. We did all the legal stuff. The city denied it, not just once, but twice. Okay? It is shame, but it's more than that. It's collaboration. It's collaboration with this fascist regime to silence everybody else. How many people here have seen the South Park episode or know what I'm talking about?
Right here.
That's the type of resistance and non-compliance and non-collaboration that's required. They put the whole thing out there. All right? And so we're with that. We think that's right. And that's correct. And actually, this is part of the challenge, right? That refuse fascism. All of you are beautiful out here today. But I will say, a lot of people are saying, let's just calm it down. Let's not get that loud. Let's not be that uncompromising. Let's wait it out. You know, we're lobbying. We're getting this. They're coming back from break. The city council of this city, the government, the Supreme Court. They'll come back from break. You know, we'll get them in the midterms. We'll get them in 2026. Hell no.
Hell no.
And this is not that we're not saying that there's not people from within the Democratic Party who could actually not to stand on the right side. But what's required right now is to actually have a whole society-wide, no business as usual, non-compromising situation in which we are putting this demand out before millions and tens of millions, and not just putting it out but making it real. And that's going to require more than ritualized protests. I will say that right now. We're not just out here on a Saturday morning, on a weekend, you know, when we could be a million other places, because it's not just the right thing to do. And it's not just something we do on Saturdays, because it is what is required for tens of millions of people here in this country to stop pretending that the fascism that is coming and shoving people down its throats, thus the utter illegitimacy has to be stopped. So what we're doing out here today is modeling that. What we're going to be doing out here in these streets is modeling that. And everybody here is taking responsibility for doing that. And we got to go out to all corners of society and shake it up. And call on people, don't get normalized to a horrible situation, because we've seen this in history. When people get normalized to horrible things, all of what people have been speaking to. That is the danger we are in the midst right now. That is the reality of what's coming to bear here. And so everybody here today, we have several, so while the city is not protecting us, we are going to protect ourselves. So we have several cars here. We're going to do both in the streets and in a caravan, okay? Because we want to keep everybody safe together. We're going to take the streets, okay? And so I'm calling, if you don't feel feel comfortable taking the streets, if you're like, I'm a little bit more on the sidewalk, that's okay. I'm not like, there's not like either or. We're gonna go around here, we're gonna go to the detention center. And at the detention center, it's still time to call out your friends, to call them out to come and join us, because we're gonna be at the detention center for a minute, because we're gonna read the stories of people who've been kidnapped by ICE, only but a small sample of things. And we're gonna actually take our time there and stop there for a minute. So it's still time to call your friends out there. They did mention, Jaime mentioned, we're not anticipating this, and we're gonna actually, we are determined to keep everybody together and safe. But if people need a legal number, here is a legal number that if people wanna take a minute to write down, I will pause for 1 second so everybody gets their number, their pen. I think there's a pen going.